Hi, I'll be attending the Star Wars movie tonight at 7:40. A couple of my friends and I want to come and we want to dress up maybe. Maybe bring some lightsabers. Oh, what's your policy on that? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, no, yeah, that's alright. Yeah. Okay, thanks. No! There's a spider. No! What's up, Net Soldiers? I'm Net Alliance here, joined with Cykotech. How you doing, Cykotech?
Doing great.
That's good. And we got Net Wife over here. Now, the reason why we have this podcast, as you guys can probably tell from the title of this video, we actually just got back from The Last Jedi. Now, we have different thoughts. We're going to get over those right now. These are just our first impressions, so down the line, some of our opinions could change as time goes on and we see the movie again and stuff like that. So just bear that in mind as you watch this and enjoy. And also, for more Star Wars videos, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn notifications for more Star Wars content. Now, with that said, I guess we're just going to jump right in. I have a couple different questions I want to get everyone's
Major
opinion.
spoilers ahead, major spoilers.
Yes, spoilers!
If you've not watched the film, if you've not watched the film, turn it off now.
Yes, that's probably the best thing. Or add this to your watch later, then turn it off. Yeah, because then you can watch it later. So,
yes.
Subscribe. So we actually have a bunch of questions that all three of us are going to be answering, and then we also have a bunch of questions from you guys too that we're going to be covering and answering those. So thank you guys right away for letting us know your questions and stuff like that. So we'll let you know our answers as we get to them. Now, with that officially said, let's jump into this podcast. Maybe a So for our first question, Cykotech's going to start off with this. What did you like most about the film and why?
I like the fact that they took some risks. They did do bigger action explosions.
Yeah.
Hyperspacing through Snoke's ship.
Yeah.
The big force battle over the lightsaber between Kylo and Rey. They're not ignoring the fact that there's still needs to be action in Star Wars, but they're kind of playing it safe with the lightsaber battles. But the fact that they are doing big explosion without overdoing it is a good thing in my book.
Yes. They are playing it safe. It feels a little more like they're taking more chances compared to The Force Awakens, though. You know what I mean? They're definitely taking more chances. I was expecting more of an Empire Strikes Back clone. I think everybody was, and there were the homages, but it wasn't as much as New Hope was. It
definitely felt more
like its own story compared to.
It felt like its own story, but in relation to the other trilogies, it felt more like an Empire Strikes Back.
Yes. Yes. And it's good that it can have that comparison, but it can't be like a. It can't be The Force Awakens and the New Hope. Yeah. So that's good. That's a good thing. I definitely say that the a lot of stuff definitely was good in this film. Some things I would say could be better, and we'll get into that further into the video. But I'd say my favorite thing right off the top, I liked the whole Rey and Luke thing going on, and I actually liked the idea that Rey's arc in this was good. Rey's entire character arc was good, from the point where she gets with Luke.
That's actually what I was going to say.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to bring up.
Rey is developing into a good character. She's becoming stronger in the Force, attuning her, capabilities better. Yeah.
And it was cool to see Rey and Kylo communicating to the Force. Do you know what I mean? The fact that they aren't in the same area and they're communing. Now, of course, we find out that Snoke is actually the one making this happen. But it's still pretty incredible to just think how powerful Snoke was. And we'll get into that later as well. But I think that I just liked Rey's arc. Now the thing with this is, though, although I really did enjoy Rey's arc in this story, I wasn't too fond of the fact that I feel like this was a lot of Rey's movie, and the other characters just kind of got sidelined a little bit here and there. Now Poe's story was pretty interesting too.
Yes. Yeah.
But I feel like they didn't know what to do with Finn. You know,
yeah,
they didn't know what to do with Finn. They added the new Rose kid, the Rose character, and she was cool. I did like Rose, but
they added her and really didn't
do anything
much
with her.
Yeah,
I feel like she was definitely just kind of a weaker character compared to Rey, and they made Finn weaker as well, and then Rey they made like even stronger in this, so it was cool. It was cool to see her have like vulnerabilities though. That was different. Like she had a few different vulnerabilities, but she was still confident, even though she wasn't 100% knowing if she was gonna be okay. You know, like she's facing down Snoke, she's like in. You know what I mean? Like she's like, I may die, but like I'm gonna give my all. You know? So that's like what a hero does, and so that was pretty cool. What would you say as far as what's your favorite, your most liked moment?
I was actually gonna say the same thing as Net. That I like how Rey's character is developing. I also kind of like that they played around with her debating whether she wanted to go to the good side or the bad side. Like the dark side was calling her, kind of. She went down in that tunnel.
Yeah, that's true.
And she didn't really
She experienced the dark side,
but she didn't like it. Yeah,
especially since when she was like, tell me who my parents are. Like, give me what I want, and I'll more than likely go to you. She knew that she wasn't getting what she wanted, so she was like, nope, this is not for me.
Yeah.
I'm laying off the stuff for good.
I kind of think it's interesting too how like Rey could kind of see into the future for Kylo. That's an interesting thing. I feel like they're building her character to be almost as good as Luke, like force ability wise. Maybe even Anakin, because even Luke says in the movie himself, like he's like, I haven't seen this raw strength since Ben. Yes, yeah. So I like how they're building Rey up to be a very strong, impactful
Who knows?
character.
Maybe she's actually the chosen one.
Yeah, she's the chosen one all along.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, that's why I say I like.
Yeah, Rey. Overall, from what we're saying, of course, Rey is the standout out of this.
Yeah.
This whole movie, the whole movie.
My cat's looking at me funny. Look at her face. Okay. Anyways, we'll back this up. All right. So overall, like we keep saying, as we're all praising this, Rey is definitely a much more improved character compared to the first one. She's not just kind of like blank, and we're just supposed to like her. You know, they're like, hey, she does all these nice things, like her. You know, there's actually a reason to like Rey now.
Yeah, so there is a character to like.
There's actually a character to the character, which is nice.
Yeah.
Which is good. So, any final thoughts before we move on? No?
No.
Okay. On to our second question. Now we said, what did we like the most about the film? Now we're going to say, what did we dislike the most about the film? And how would you improve it? So here's the thing, there's a lot of pros to this film, which is a good thing. And there are a couple cons. There's no like massive cons in my opinion, but there's a couple cons that are all kind of equal, and it's kind of like
it kind of dulls the film just a tiny bit, but just enough.
Like I kind of said about the I disliked most was the fact that Finn was kind of underutilized a lot. I feel like some characters were really given a lot of time and story and development, and some characters were just kind of there because they were there in the past films, so let's make them do something now. Do you know? And
I think Phasma is the biggest example of that.
Yes, like, Phasma was underutilized.
She's extremely underutilized. Like they brought her out, like they made you feel like something big was gonna happen with her, and there was just like that little tiny fight scene with Finn. She falls in the fire, and she may or may not be dead. I'm
pretty sure she'll be in the next film, but
again, like character that's supposed to be important isn't important at all.
Yeah, and kind of just gets thrown out the window like right away and stuff. And it's just she shows up, and then
she gets thrown away faster than she gets thrown away faster than Anakin's lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing that kind of bothered me. I mean, I understand the idea of the story. I'm pretty sure that Rey's going to take those broken pieces and do something with them eventually. But for me, wasn't a huge fan to see Anakin's lightsaber go. And there really isn't just like that massive thing that's just like, oh man. But overall, I have to say, my biggest thing that really just kind of that gets me the most I don't think Luke had to die. Like I said, spoiler warning in the beginning of the video. I feel as though Luke's death wasn't needed in this film. There was a couple times where we actually saw, as we know, Carrie Fisher, she passed away. There was a few times where we're thinking, oh, this is the point where she dies. You know, this is the point where she dies.
Yeah, definitely during the scene in the beginning, of that like carrier scene.
Yes.
Where the cockpit gets blown up and she gets blasted into space. She's
yeah.
in space.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you should be dead.
No, but here's the thing though. Yes, that would have been a good scene for her. Like, that would have been a good scene to kind of send her off. It was kind of unceremonial, I feel. Maybe if they were
like, it was a good death, but at the same time, not a good death for a character of her caliber.
I almost feel like it was cool to see her use the Force, though. That was cool. I like the idea that she used the Force. It was one of those things like, did Leia ever learn to use the Force? And yes, she did. That's a kind of an example. Or she at least knows how to use the basics of it. You know, like she can pull her body over to the space, which is cool. The thing that really does get me is that I feel that the girl with the pink hair, and I forget her name.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. Her name is, I can't remember, and that's a bad thing because she had a really big role in this film, and I don't remember her name. I just know that she was like Leia's like student, like she was kind of like her apprentice,
the vice admiral or whatever.
Yeah, the one who took over after Leia was
unconscious
and stuff, and it's cool. But then I feel like her death probably should have been Leia's death. You know, like I feel as though when she was like, someone's got to stay with the ship, Leia should have been like, I'll stay with the ship. You know what I mean? Like this is, and Leia's sacrifices would allow them to get away, and that would be a pretty cool, pretty badass thing for Leia to do. You know, to send her off, because now they're just gonna have probably a CGI Leia in the next film, or they're gonna take some clips that they filmed of her in front of green screen or something before she died, and they're just going to plaster it, and it's probably gonna feel choppy in the 9th film. You know,
or like the CGI is just going to
or the CGI
really
is going to bother. Yeah, it's going to be bothering. And I feel like they had good opportunities to send off the character with a bang. Like literally, they could have sent her off with a bang.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that would have been the perfect moment. Just imagine that. Like that would have been a very cool end for that. So you don't always have to be pulling twists when the twists aren't needed. You know, don't be afraid to write
killing Snoke. Yes, that's a solid twist for this kind of movie. Like, you can expect an apprentice to turn on his master.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, and we'll get deeper into that later. But they took unnecessary risks, and they didn't use the characters enough, and that's why I big problem.
Kind of like what Net said, there were a few things that bothered me a little bit, but I would say for me, my biggest disappointment was how Luke died, because they made it seem like he was having an epic battle with Kylo Ren, and then he just disappears, and we're like, oh, that's cool, like he actually I felt like he was trying to teach Kylo a lesson.
Yeah, like his final lesson.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden he disappears and becomes a Force ghost. Like, I felt like he should have been utilized more to train Rey further. I know he can train her as a ghost or a Force ghost, but I feel like there was still more that was left for his character to do. I felt like it was too soon to have him go.
Yeah,
it should have been, I don't want to say it because it sounds bad, but it should have been Leia in Luke's position instead of Luke going, you know?
Or like done differently to make sense for why Leia would be doing it. You know?
Done differently.
It was cool to see Luke kind of send him off with like a cool little, you know, finishing move and stuff like that. Like the idea that like he fought him without actually being there, which is really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked that.
It was interesting because like when he was shooting at him, I was thinking like, oh, he's using like a force shield. I guess? And then I saw, I'm thinking, I'm like, wait, that lightsaber blew up. Why does he still have that lightsaber? It's because it was all illusion, which is really cool and shows us how powerful Luke is, that he can actually reach across
the galaxy and project his image.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
And then they just kind of wasted that power almost immediately.
Yeah.
Exactly, and then he just kind of disappeared with the Force, and I almost feel like you said, that was he didn't have to go. His character didn't have to go.
He still had more to do, I felt like.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. What's yours?
Yeah, you can also answer all these questions in the comments below as well. So yeah, what's yours?
I think the thing I dislike the most is how much they hung on certain scenes or like certain problems, like
what
like
specifically?
Like Poe sitting there like trying to argue with the pink-haired lady about the whole like, you know, what's your plan? What's your plan? What are we doing? Why are we just sitting here like slowly drifting away, waiting for us to die? Or like, you know, like in any like real situation, like you could have like told them, hey, we're loading up the transports, you know, and then yes, they're unarmed and unshielded, but they also have cloaking devices. And then, you know, someone's just gonna stay here and die on the ship. Just one person, and that person's gonna be me. You know, like, I mean, maybe not like that exact, but like, you know,
yeah.
Don't just stand there and like.
She definitely made herself look unprofessional in front of her peers.
I wouldn't have liked her as
especially because I remember
she seemed very weak as a leader. No,
especially because I remember like when she initially like took over for Leia, like there's like the Vice Admiral, like it sounds like someone that should like, you know, be able to take charge.
Yeah, it
like,
sounds like
another completely underutilized character that they built up immediately and just wasted.
No, I did like the idea of her being able to. In the beginning of the film, when you first meet her, you're like, "Oh, this chick is lame," and then like later on, when she like sacrificed herself and stuff like that, you're like, "Oh, you know what? She, you know, she's actually pretty cool." And you know, Poe kind of learned a lesson from her, which is a nice aspect of that.
Yeah, which you see later at the end of the film, where it's like, "Wait, no, we don't need to go out there and like, you know, fight them."
Yeah, no.
Like he's sitting there, like stalling for time for us to get away.
Yeah, he learned a lesson from her sacrifice, which is cool, and like the that's how it is.
But again, there were certain times where they were just kind of sitting there, hanging on certain like situations, problems, like the casino scene, like that whole thing kind of didn't need to happen.
Yeah, that was
like you could just have like, you know, a simple like little cantina meet up with someone that, all right, hey, we need this. Hey, I want to get paid.
By the way, they never actually met that person with the brooch. They made a big deal of it.
Yeah, they
made a big deal about it, and then they never utilized that.
Yeah, they never met him.
Yeah, maybe he'll like, and they even
that
like
entire sequence was pretty much pointless.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, like
they didn't even use him, you know.
Right.
But wow. You know, here's my question. Does that character actually mean something? Because like Maz, like she like talked about him like he was actually important.
Yeah.
Or like, maybe like that ship that they stole, maybe that's his ship.
Oh,
interesting.
But like they made a big deal out of him, and like they didn't even use it at all.
Yeah. I actually thought they'd bring in like Lando. I thought Lando was gonna be like in the.
Yeah, they could like have.
Hey, I'm Lando. What's up? You guys remember me? Yeah, you know, I thought they were gonna do that.
Yeah, you know, that would have been a great, you know. Hey, I need
a reintroduction to the character.
Yeah, you know, like hey, I need this. Now. We need this code breaker, and like you go to like this place here, and then like you meet him, and it's like, oh hey, Lando.
You know what? Because you brought up her too. The purple-haired lady. I still don't remember. I was looking it up. I couldn't find it. I was like, what is her name? But someone will tell me in the comments. Anyways, so thank you, person in the comments who let us know. Appreciate it. But the thing with her is, like I said earlier, her death should have been replaced with Leia's.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They had a perfect setup. Because think about it. Leia was she just got like knocked out in space. She came back. And maybe she was starting to die.
Yeah,
you know, maybe she's starting to feel herself like die, and she's like, well, you know, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die anyways. I might as well go out with a bang. Boom. Then she goes, go on there, and then you can be like Poe's kind of like love interest / not love interest, or like master or whatever she's gonna be. And then I'll just sacrifice myself and let you guys all escape. And boom, that's when Leia sacrificed herself. Then you got that whole thing done, and then Carrie Fisher gets a proper send off, giving Snoke a nice big slash right through his ship.
Yeah.
You know? Just like he got a big slash right through his chest.
I'm just curious how they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
I'm just curious how they're gonna do that.
I
you
know.
Because
It's
like they had so many opportunities.
They can't just go like with Leia's character. You can't just go, oh, yeah, Leia flew off. She's like on vacation now.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You got to do something with her character now.
She went to retire like Luke, but went on a different planet.
Unless, you know what, sometimes movies actually, when they film with older actors, they will actually film scenes for future events, just in case that actor does eventually pass. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Next one is, who was the best character in your opinion, and why? You start on that, wife.
Alright, I'm gonna go with Rey. Like I said in the beginning, she was the most utilized character. She's most improved. I feel like they're setting her up to be amazing. Just an amazing Jedi. Maybe even to train Jedi in the future, because she's the only one, basically. I don't know, it just, overall, she was great. I liked the conflict with her and Kylo. I like how she grew as a character, how she learned to use her Force abilities more. Even trained a little bit more with her lightsaber battling, even though we didn't really get to see too much of it, which I was a little disappointed with. But overall, like, she's my favorite. You learn to love her this movie. Like, I feel so much of a stronger connection towards her character than I did.
Like I said earlier, this movie was Rey's movie. You know,
right?
Like, there were other characters, but this was Rey's movie. Like, last movie, you could argue it was Rey's movie too, but it was kind of like Rey. It was more like Finn, Rey's. It was kind of like a combination between those two. Like, it was Finn and Rey's and Han Solo's movie. You know, it was kind of a shared movie. This is Rey is the protagonist of this film, so that's good. That there's actually a protagonist to truly follow. And what would you say? Who's your?
I would agree that, you know, Rey is obviously the outstanding protagonist, but, like, you know, let's on the other side, like, Kylo has actually grown as, you know, the antagonist. You know, like, you sense, like, the conflict that's going on in him. Like, you know, like in the beginning, like in, you know, the first movie, he's like, you know, he's like, yeah, no, I'm kind of like want to be a bad guy, so I'm going to be a bad guy.
You know his motives more.
You know his motives. Like as
they improved his character.
As
for
the
sure.
eighth,
I'm very happy with that.
As this movie progressed, like, you realize, like, he's kind of not being a bad guy, you know, just to be a bad guy. He's like you realize he's been tainted, and then, like, you sense the conflict, and then now he's like, I want to rule the galaxy, like, and, you know, restore order in my way. Yeah. So, you know, it's like, yes. So again, yes, you know, Rey's character's developed pretty well, you know, but Kylo's has developed well as well.
And to combine you two together, although I would say that my favorite character was Rey of this film. She's the one I like the most. To add to both of your explanations to why you guys chose those characters, I think that they both grew as characters together. Do you know what I mean? The story, they grew together, and it was really cool to see these two characters grow. Because at first you're like, wait a second, like when they first started talking, I was like, I don't know if I like this. But then as time has gone on, and they talked a little bit more, and they kind of was like,
and then they eventually, like, you know, actually touched through the Force.
Like, it felt good.
You're just like, you know what, something's gonna happen between these two, and, like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out what it is. Like, what's linking them?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something.
Well, again, we first found out it was Snoke doing it, but then you see in the end, as, like, you know, Rey's escaping on the Falcon, like, it happens, like, one more time.
Yeah, it happens again.
So it is on their own.
So that's the question too.
But again, like Han said, he hasn't seen that much raw power since, you know.
Luke said that.
What did I say?
You said Han. Oh, that's okay.
Oh well. Close enough. Luke said, like, he hasn't seen that much raw power since, you know, Ben. So, you know, they're both obviously very strong, very tuned to the Force. So,
yes. I mean, that's the thing about it, is that Snoke originally says that he's like, hey, I'm the reason why you guys were talking. Like, there's no other reason. But it is cool to think that there might be something more to that, you know. These two are linked somehow. And it makes you wonder, you know, is Snoke still linking them? Or is there something else going on between them? Or was Snoke just like, did Snoke link them and now when he died, he didn't unlink them? Or so, I don't know. Like, it's interesting now because, like, they're going to communicate, and it's gonna be cool to see where Kylo goes from this, because I think what they might be doing is they might be saving Leia as the martyr for why Kylo turns back to the light. You know, Leia's death might be the reason why Kylo turns. With our best characters laid out, who did you dislike the most? Who was the worst character, and why are they the worst character? You can start.
I gotta say, I did not like General Hux. Like, he was an annoying, he was a terrible character. Like, as soon as Snoke died, like, he's like, oh, so, you know, now the powerful guy is dead, so I get to take over, right? You know, just gets thrown across the room, and then, like, while they're charging on the bunker, like, Kyle's issuing orders, like, he's issuing orders, like, on top of him, like...
He's like, no, what are you doing?
It's like...
That's pretty much
it's like,
what I got.
Focus all your fire on those speeders! Focus all your fire on those speeders! Like,
yeah.
It's like, I just said this, like...
That's a good point.
You didn't have to say that.
They turned... I feel like they kind of turned Hux into like kind of a more like a comedic relief and a coward. You know, I like the idea of having
kind of like the
an intimidating
power,
dude. You know.
Yeah, they start. Yeah,
think
they
of Tarkin.
start.
Like Tarkin was an intimidating dude. You know, like he knew what he was doing. You know, Hux got there. It makes it seem like Hux got to where he was because he was like kissing butt his entire life to get there. And maybe that is true.
Yeah.
But I do feel like The Force Awakens didn't really portray that, though. You know, he seemed like a jerk, that's what he is. You know.
Yeah, and
because he was raised to be that way.
Again, that's fine. You know, because you're you're being a general and a dictator.
Yes, and this film kind of made him more
cowardly,
comedic relief-ish, and cowardly, and it kind of takes away from his character because. In the first one, we see him literally like yelling at people. He's like, "They will all bow to us!" And then right after he says that whole like Hitler-ish speech, he blows up like 5 planets. You know what I mean? And then they just turn him to kind of comedic relief. You're right.
Yeah, because
he's like comedy though. I like the comedy, but I didn't like what they did with him.
Yeah, because like Kylo's like knocked out. He's like, and then he wakes up. He's like,
yeah. He reached for. He was gonna shoot Kylo on the ground, but he didn't. But yeah, I'm actually probably gonna go with that too. Rose was an alright character.
Like she wasn't.
She didn't need to be a character. That's the thing. But the worst character was probably Hux. Because of that reason. You're right. Yeah. He kind of
like honestly, after that whole scene where like she stops Finn from like jumping ship or whatever, like if they had stopped like having her there after that, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like, they could have had just Finn and Poe go off to the casino.
And that's another thing about her, was like, when she, like, got knocked out and we think that she died, like, I didn't really care.
Yeah.
I feel like that we're all supposed to go, no, not Rose! Rose! You know, when
no,
they're
like, love.
Okay, get to the Rey thing.
I was actually mad that she did that, though. Like honestly, I would have been fine with Finn charging into the cannon and like
dying.
Yeah.
You know what? That was actually something that I thought Finn was gonna die there. I thought that would have been an awesome way to send Finn out. You know what I mean?
It's honorable.
It's one of the things like with Luke too. He didn't have to die, but I think that would be like an interesting way to send him out if they're going to.
Yeah.
You know, I would like that. Yeah, so both of our worst characters are Hux's. Who would you say is your worst character?
Mine too.
You Hux? There we go.
Yeah, Hux.
Yeah.
We all
literally all the same.
We all agree on Hux.
Yeah.
Hux. Yeah. That's...
I like the character. I just feel like
they took him in the wrong direction.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They put him in the wrong direction. So, all right. So there's a bunch of different things that I want to like hit in this because there's a bunch of stuff I want to see happen in episode 9. First. The biggest thing I want to see with episode 9 is I want to know if Snoke is actually dead. I'm going to be covering this in future videos and stuff like that, but I feel that Snoke is a vessel for something more powerful out there. Because you think how much power Snoke has, right? That has to go somewhere. That couldn't just get killed like right there.
Yeah, no, there's
more to that.
Yeah, he died way too easily.
Exactly.
Yeah, for being the most powerful being.
I think that was supposed to be like, oh, Snoke's gone? Okay, well now Kylo's now in charge, right? And then the actual person who's controlling that Snoke body, which I think is probably like an ancient Sith or an ancient Jedi, whatever. We've seen this done in the legends of Star Wars. We haven't seen it in canon yet, so it could happen, right? I want to see that. I want to see this person come back and be like, okay, Kylo, you betrayed me. Now I'm actually gonna kick your butt. I want to see what's gonna happen with that. So that's my biggest thing when it comes down to it, because I know there's more to it than just Snoke dying there. You can't just
you can't just kill it off like that. No.
Another thing I'm excited to see. I want to see what Rey's new lightsaber is gonna look like. Right. This is something that me and Cykotech were talking about before. Was the double-bladed lightsaber idea of Rey. We haven't seen double-bladed lightsaber since Darth Maul. I think it'd be cool to have Rey do it because we've seen her with her
like her staff.
Yeah,
like she favors the staff over other
the
weapons.
Yeah. Like a double blade. I think that'd be so cool for her character, and it'd be very interesting to see a Jedi wielding it. Imagine like a double-bladed blue lightsaber instead of just like a red one like we saw. So I think that'd be cool. And then another thing I want to see. It'd be cool. We kind of got a little hint towards a future with like Jedi, maybe some more Jedi having like the kids in the end. You know,
even though I missed the broom.
Yeah, not many people notice this, but at the end when the kid goes walking out, he actually puts his hand out towards the broom, and the broom flies into his hand when he's walking by. It's very subtle. If you're not paying attention to it, you'll miss it. But it's a very cool like little nod to the future of the Jedi. You know.
Yeah, but even though I didn't notice it, like I felt like there was like something going on with those kids. Like they wouldn't have just shown us the kids again, like if there wasn't something going on with that.
There was definitely more to that.
Like you just, you get this feeling like because he's like kind of like reaching out like to the rebel ship or whatever is going on over there. Like he's reaching out, like he's feeling something, like something's going on there. There's definitely a future with those.
Yeah, I want to see that. So those are my biggest things. Another thing I want to see, I want to see a very epic lightsaber duel. Something on caliber with Revenge of the Sith. I don't think we haven't seen anything like an Obi-Wan Anakin fight since then. I get it, that was like the Jedi in their prime. It makes sense. Let me see. I hope this film kind of skips time to the point where like Rey's gotten really good with this double lightsaber. She has. Yeah, Kylo's been training his butt off. I want to see these two go at it super strong. Although it was cool to see them team up, I do think they're going to have at least one more clash before facing the big threat that's Snoke. The person actually controlling Snoke. In my opinion, of course. But that's what I want to see. So those are my biggest things. I'll have more videos in the future of different stuff I want to see, but that's just for right now. What about you?
I just can't wait to see how Rey grows with her power and the conflict between Rey and Kylo. I kind of want to see where that goes, like I said, I feel like they're building Rey up to be almost as strong as Anakin was, or even Luke.
It'd be cool to see that power come to fruition.
Yeah, because again, she just started training and she like lifted all those rocks.
Yeah.
She's like, God, lifting rocks again.
Yeah, and they've done something we've never seen before, where her and Kylo connect through the mind. Like, I mean, that takes both of them, obviously, but
it would be interesting to see in episode 9, like them both getting stronger. And maybe like showing like a montage of both of them training, like trying to like one up each other, like in their training or something like that. That's I think that'd be pretty funny. Like you see like Rey like picking up a rock, and then you see Kylo, he picks up 2 rocks, and then Rey like picks up 3, and then he picks up 4. Like something like that. It'd be cool to kind of see them like have like a little battle through their mind and stuff.
What if like Rey is the reincarnation of good Anakin, and then Kylo is like dark Anakin?
Oh.
I want to see like some sort of connection back to Anakin. We're touching too much on like the Skywalker like legacy,
and like, not mentioning Anakin.
Yeah, like there's like no mention of Anakin.
No, they say Darth Vader occasionally.
Well, do you think Anakin's lightsaber is a hint too towards something like that?
Like what do you mean?
Because when she touched it like in The Force Awakens, like she had this flashback, a surge of memories like that were all Anakin's. But again, we're touching way too much on the Skywalker legacy for there to not be any connection to Rey.
That's true. That is true.
Like
they're hinting that Rey is part of the bloodline.
Exactly. Yeah. In the film, Kylo pretty much tells Rey like, "Hey, by the way, like your parents were nobody, so I think I was supposed to like a sly little notice to like all like the Star Wars YouTubers out there, like myself included, like, just so you know, Rey's has nobody. Like, she's not a Skywalker. She's not a Kenobi. Just stop asking. Stop it, okay? The theories are getting ridiculous, but I think there is actually something more.
No,
I think they're trying to
not
throw
gonna...
us off their scent. So let's keep getting them. Let's keep going.
But if that's the case, stop touching onto like stop like heavily dragging us with Skywalker legacy this, Darth Vader that, you know, Luke seeing raw power like in Ben and Rey, like, you know, since his father, like there's.
If she's not a Skywalker, then just like drop that connecting that you keep doing.
You're putting way too hard connection on something that you're trying to make us believe isn't actually there.
Yes.
Like, you're giving us reason to believe this. That's why we're
that's why we have theories.
Yeah.
That's why you need to answer them.
And they did kind of answer them, but I think they're just trying to throw us off their scent. And we don't fall for that on the internet. Nope. So, any further things you guys want to add to this one? Because this one could be a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of wants, theories,
and I'll cover them in future videos as well. So, yeah, I actually want to hear a lot of any of your ideas in the comments below. What do you guys want to see in episode 9? Let us know down there. So, with that, let's move on to our final question here, and then we'll get to your questions. On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate this film? Let's start with Netwife.
I'm kind of gonna go between an 8 and a 9. Like,
so like an 8.5 or something?
Yes, 8.5.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I feel like it had so many awesome moments and surprising moments I wasn't expecting at all, especially from the trailer. Like, I was expecting something completely different. There's a lot of plot twists, but I like that. I like the hints to the older movies, you know, the original trilogy. Yeah, I like Rey's growth, everything. I feel more connected to all the characters too, so that's why I like it.
The characters all grew, which is good. Yeah. That's what a sequel should be doing.
Yeah,
it should be growing their characters.
Yeah, and you should have a character that you care dearly about and you're like rooting for the whole time. So I feel like I have that now. You know?
What about you, Cykotech?
I will have to give it a solid 8. Because, again, like, you know, great film. Like, you know, there were some moments that they did excellently, but then there were like scenes that just kind of dragged on that didn't need to, scenes that didn't need to happen, like characters that were introduced and like they didn't really do anything with them or didn't need to be there. Characters that were just, you know, built up and thrown away. Probably like my biggest thing here right now is like the casino scene.
Yeah, the
casino.
Like,
it does bug me.
Yeah, that slowed the movie down way more than it needed to. Like,
the only reason I think it was good it was mentioned was because of the ending with the little kid and his broom. That was the only thing that the only reason that should have existed.
And that's
but they could have done that anyway. They didn't have to do that at the casino.
Yeah,
you know?
because like I felt no connection to those kids before that scene. Like, I mean, I know that they're, like, sitting there, they're enslaved, and, like, it's like, I feel a little bad for them, they want what's right, but other than that, like, you can tell that even anyway in that scene. Like, the guy's coming in yelling, "Why are you not cleaning? Get back to work!" So, the whole, like, middle part of the movie was just way too long. Like, you could have, like, probably had, like, a couple extra things happening, like, to keep the movie moving.
I agree. I'm gonna put my rating at number. Let's do 8. I'd say an 8 too. I'm a solid 8. The reason a lot what these two just said, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, is that this movie had a lot of pros, and it didn't have any like massive cons, but it did have enough cons for me not to be able to give it a higher score. Like you mentioned, the casino scene. It was
that whole
it dragged on.
That whole thing
didn't need to be there. They
could have just had simple. You could just flew them off to Tatooine, sat down at a casino. You know, like, oh hey,
Cantina or something.
Cantina. Like, just like, hey, here's this guy. You know, that's going to help us. Maybe be a part of the next film.
Yeah.
Like
that was a perfect spot for like to bring Lando in or something. That was the perfect spot to bring him in.
Or hey, bring back Han from the dead because you didn't see his last breath on screen.
I did like the twists, but I feel like sometimes they kind of did twists just to do a twist.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan when movies do that.
Just throw it in.
Yeah. So I feel like they kind of went a little too much with those.
Like the only twist I accept is Kylo killing off Snoke the way he did. Like, because again, that's a Star Wars thing that you would expect. Like, a Sith apprentice killing off his master.
Yeah, for me, the thing is though, I like that Kylo killed Snoke the way he did, but if that's all we're gonna see of Snoke or Snoke's power, like I mentioned, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed if the next
I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be disappointed if they just throw his character and his power away just like that.
I really wanted to see more of what he could do.
Exactly.
You started to get a sense of the scope of his power. Like he's already gone. Like he just pushed Kylo back with all that lightning. He was like, he pulled the information he needed out of Rey. Like
just through her mind.
Yeah, he like when Rey tried to go for the lightsaber, like he made it spin around and like hit her in the back of the head. You know?
Yeah.
He's got power.
You could tell he's not even trying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just imagine if he was trying.
His full potential.
And that's why I think that Rey and Kylo might have to team up in the future to take him down once they're more powerful. But hey,
maybe that leads to your hint as to why he didn't actually get up and battle anyone, because he was just a body. It was just a force in his body.
I mean, it's interesting stuff.
You see Luke, he can control.
Like he made
he could go across the universe and make a visual effect. So why couldn't Snoke if he's that powerful? He could be making all of the Force, grabbing Rey's lightsaber and all that. Could be from another world or distant, land.
Or maybe in another galaxy far, far away.
Maybe in your galaxy. Maybe it's me.
Maybe it's me.
Maybe it's Darth Jar Jar.
All right,
maybe it's Maybelline.
We went over a bunch of stuff here. I actually asked you guys on YouTube on the community tab. I said, hey, have any questions for us? Let us know. We'll answer them in your comments. We'll answer them in the video. So let's just go down to a few different questions here. All right, so this one is from Darth Porg, and he asks, whose grave was Luke standing next to in the final scene of The Force Awakens? Well,
I think
no one. I'm pretty sure that was a sentiment that, hey, guess what, guys? That's not Mara Jade's grave. That's not no one he cares about. That wasn't Vader's ashes poured in there. No, it was just a rock.
You know what I realized we didn't mention either in any of our comments about how Yoda burned down all of the ancient Jedi books and everything.
True. Like that's another thing too. How do you guys feel about that puppet Yoda?
Oh yeah.
He's still glancing over the fact that Yoda literally just destroyed the remaining of all of the Jedi religion.
I think that's okay. I'm okay with that. At first I was like, wait, and then I was like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Like you're focusing too much on the books.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's all the past.
It's all about moving
forward. That's what it is. But I actually want to know you guys in the comments below. This is a legit thing. How do you guys feel about the puppet Yoda? Would you prefer the CGI Yoda from the prequels, or would you prefer the puppet? As cool as it is an homage to the puppet Yoda that they used in the original trilogy, I feel that they should have went CGI with him like the prequels. I think Yoda in Episode 3 looked fine with CGI.
Yeah.
I imagine how good they could make him now.
Oh yeah. Because the puppet Yoda just doesn't hold up to time.
Yes, it's true. I can tell it's puppet. And it's one thing that you can tell it's CGI, but like when it comes to the point where like depending on how it is, it can kind of pull you out a little bit because you're like, oh, that's the puppet Yoda. I know that, but I feel like that's something they could have improved on. So let us know in the comments below because I want to actually hear your opinions on that.
Oh, I liked it. That was just me. I liked it.
This one is from A Man Deep, and he says, Luke is going to bite the dust at the end. Nearly 100% sure. He's right.
Wow.
He got him.
That was great.
Good job. Yep, you're right. Luke did.
$25 gift card. Cool.
No, that's not.
Here you go. This one kind of feeds into... this kind of feeds into my episode 9 statement. Who really is Snoke? Well, guess what?
We still don't know, actually.
The Snoke we know is dead. But who is the puppet master behind Snoke? Who is the actual one controlling that body? We don't know yet. I mean, you could just write it off as he just died and that's it. But there's more to that.
No,
we're gonna see something in episode.
There's something that needs to happen with that. You can't just.
Yeah. Okay, here's all this power. He's done.
Another one we have from Shane Fraser, and he says, I liked the movie, but it left me wanting something. I wanted a similar fight to something like Luke and Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back. You know, like kind of like a fight that goes on with them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get the feeling that like could have happened, like, you know, where that whole thing where like Luke shows up, but like he's really like a, you know, force apparition.
Yeah. But
like again, like he was just a force apparition, and like he basically like showed up to like buy time. A wasted, drawn out opportunity.
Yeah. The lightsaber fight could have been a little more interesting. Or there could have been a legit lightsaber fight. We actually talked about this. There wasn't a actual lightsaber fight in this film.
No,
this is the first main saga film where there wasn't a lightsaber fight.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it is between like two poorly trained people or super quick, there was no actual fight.
Technically, yeah.
You can count Luke and Kylo, but
he wasn't even there.
Yeah, he wasn't even there. And
they didn't even touch sabers.
The only like technical, you know, like fights that you could compare lightsabers would be to I mean, you could say Kylo and Rey when they took on those guys. Those kind of like, those are vibro blades or whatever, electric staffs or whatever.
Yeah.
So that kind of counts, but it really doesn't. I kind of wanted to see like a showdown between. I actually thought what Snoke was going to do is go, okay, Kylo, Rey, fight it out. Whoever wins, my new apprentice, something like that, right? Or like something around those lines.
Yeah.
At least have like a little kind of a clash between the two of them before they turned on him or something like that. Next question is from Alexander Weist, and he asks, what does Kylo Ren want from Rey? I'm pretty sure he just wanted to kind of team up with her. That's what I got from that.
I think he wanted a relationship.
No, I don't.
A little bit.
I honestly do not sense any romance between them.
I do.
I did.
I don't.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but I detect
there
kind
was
of
a little bit of
a
flirting.
thing, a little fling there between the two.
Well, even like
especially
when he's standing there,
when they touched, like I felt like, you know, he feels a connection with her, you know, and not just on a force level, but also like an emotional level. And I think she might actually kind of feel it with him too.
Yeah.
You know.
Even when he was shirtless, she's like, "Can't you just put on a shirt?"
Yeah.
Like it's like, I don't know. They just seem to have a connection. And to me, when he asked like, "Will you roll with me? Like, can we roll the galaxy together?" I felt it was kind of like, "Will you be my queen?"
Yeah. It was kind of like him insinuating that. I like that idea. I don't know. I'm not shipping them off yet. Like I'm not like, Reylo, you know, like I'm like, can't do that yet.
I like that.
Well, I don't like that idea.
Yeah.
No.
But
that's okay. Like if they end up together, I'd probably be like, eh. If they don't end up together, I'm still gonna be like, okay.
Ew,
like,
wait.
You know, I don't actually care which way.
We didn't even factor in that we think that they're kind of blood relation in some way, like that she's related.
I don't know.
So we have to find that out.
If she's the good Anakin and he's the bad Anakin, what if they come together and have a baby? Would they have Anakin?
Oh
my god!
Think about it.
Send him back in time.
Okay, so here's another question. This one from Peter Montesano. And he asks, will the reveals in this film be as great as the infamous reveal in Empire Strikes Back? Like, what he's referring to is when Vader reveals that to Luke that he's his father. Was there a massive thing like that in this film?
I mean,
I don't know. I think the thing that got me the most is probably killing Snoke.
Yeah,
that was probably the biggest reveal, I guess you could say reveal. It was the biggest shocker.
But it was definitely not compared.
It was the biggest twist.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't compared.
But yeah, it's not like Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah.
No,
it doesn't have nearly as much of an impact. I wasn't expecting it for sure, but it definitely didn't have that much of an impact.
Mm-hmm.
Next question is from Gary Jones. He actually asked, do you like Rose? I think we talked about this a little bit earlier.
A character that...
She's okay.
She's alright. Yeah. I don't really have an emotional attachment
like,
to her.
After she stopped Finn from getting in the escape pod, like, if she stopped showing up, I would have just been like, okay.
Yeah. I kind of felt like she's literally just there to be a love interest to Finn.
Which again doesn't even need to be a thing.
Yeah,
like you could just like, you know, built up the relationship between her and between Rey and Finn. Like,
question: when Rey was looking at Finn helping Rose, do you think she looked a little jealous?
I got it detecting to more of like she was accepting. Like that relationship, I definitely get like in the first one I kind of got like a romantic thing between her, like a little fling and Finn, but I feel like that's kind of like sailed with Rose. Like Rose is his new thing. But I do
She's
think he
just
is still
happy.
gonna have somewhat of feelings for Rey.
Yeah, and again, like I still feel at this point in this part of the trilogy, the friendship between Rey and Finn is kind of forced. Like they didn't like really communicate at all, and it's just like
I don't really see a huge connection.
It's true.
Them.
It's true. I don't feel like
And
a,
even
a
any
romantic relationship between them that much, but I
even
I
still,
believe
even
a connection of a friendship connection between them. I
but,
believe that.
But no, but even still, like the friendship, like that started with still kind of forced, like in the Force Awakens, like yeah, we're great, we saved each other, we're good guys, but it's not like I don't feel like they're like. I feel like they're just like, hey.
Also, they didn't even really connect in this film.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, they just had like one hug.
They had one hug, like,
yeah, it's
I
like, hey,
missed
it's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, but
we both lived.
Hey, Chewie and Leia finally got a hug. That was nice. Like,
Oh,
they finally got the hug. When I saw it happen, like, that's because the people complained that Leia hugged Rey in the last film and then hugged Chewie after Han died. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
that was a little bit of a, sorry guys, here you go.
Yeah, it's like Han was an important person to both of them.
Yeah.
Like, so, you can't kill off main character like that,
Yeah.
Okay, so how did Snoke lose? I thought he was stronger than Palpatine. This one's from Sindray. It's not one of those things where like Kylo, people online are gonna be like, "Yo, Kylo beat Snoke. That means he's so much more powerful."
No,
but
he just tricked him.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't.
literally
Yeah.
all it was. He was pretty much like thinking in his head.
It's like the Obi-Wan and Darth Maul
I will
thing.
destroy
Obi-Wan
my enemy.
was able to keep up with Darth Maul, but in the end, like Obi-Wan would have lost that fight had he not outsmarted Maul. Do you know what I mean? Had he not been able to get the jump on him, and that's what it was like,
I like that they made Kylo
kind of like that. It's a little different, but that's an example of what I mean when people go, "Oh, someone's better than this person," but they don't take into the different factors into the account to how they actually won. So, he only won. Kylo won because he just outsmarted Snoke's thinking,
Yeah, like Snoke was like, you're thinking about striking down your greatest enemy. You're gonna turn on your lightsaber. Like, yeah, he was about to do all this stuff,
but it was to him.
But yeah, it was
Rey.
to Snoke and not Rey. Rey wasn't his greatest enemy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 3 more questions here. The next one is from Toy Hunt and Toy Reviews, and he says, Luke is gonna die along with Phasma. Yes, Luke.
I can believe that Phasma may have died.
We can't confirm it yet.
But as you all know, people who watch my channel and the Net Alliance seal of when you watch Star Wars, if you don't see the character legit die on film and take his last breath, his or her or thing for a robot, if you don't see them take their last breath, they're definitely probably still alive. That's just usually how it usually goes in Star Wars stuff. I believe Phasma's still alive. We'll see her in the next one. I think she's probably gonna be burnt. Maybe she'll probably have like a scar on her face or something from her mask being destroyed. But yeah.
Heck, if Anakin can survive getting his limbs cut off and then
that's a
getting
good
set
point.
on
That's
fire.
a good point. Now, of course, he has the Force though, so he was able to kind of. Well, he had Palpatine kind of help him out a little bit, but I mean,
you never
maybe
know.
Kylo's helping Phasma out. Who knows? Or maybe the real Snoke is the actual Snoke is helping Phasma out.
Or maybe Phasma's the real Snoke.
Plot twist.
There we go. We did it. This one is, what is your favorite scene? We kind of already covered this. This one is from Ghost Titan Gaming. We kind of covered what our favorite scenes were already. I'll just go over a brief one. My favorite scene is, off the top of my head, I liked when Rey and Kylo teamed up to kind of take on the guards. Thought that was pretty cool. It was cool to see things happening with lightsabers, even though it wasn't a legit lightsaber fight. It was cool to see these characters come together, although it was briefly, and just take out all these people surrounding them. And it was cool to see them team up. I like that. So.
I like it when, again, the pink-haired lady, we still don't know her name.
Oh, yeah.
Comments below, please let us know. The pink-haired lady, the Vice Admiral, she turned the cruiser around and then just hyperspace into the, Snoke ship like that. That was...
It was epic. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Our last question, and actually it's more of a statement. This person said, Kevin Alfaro, and he says, I think Rey or Kylo are going to kill Luke. No.
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 I mean, I feel like, you know, in all honesty, I feel like, because, like, I think they said, like, somewhere at some point that Luke, like, somehow, like, forced his connection and forced away from him. Like, I don't know if you caught that, but, like,
Okay.
like, but then, like, he kind of, like, got it back, like, and just kind of, like, used it all up for that, like, that one last bit.
That's what I'm thinking they're going for, is the fact that, like, Luke, he put not only, like, the Force, but he put his life force into being able to do what he did to Kylo, to hold off Kylo so everyone can get off. Like, so he sacrificed himself through the Force, and then that's what got him. You know, that's what killed him. So, like, maybe you could say Kylo technically killed Luke. You know, because Kylo,
or maybe like
Luke sacrificed himself to hold Kylo off, pretty much, right?
But
without actually getting killed by Kylo.
He also mentioned that he was done with the Force before that. Like he was pretty much done. He was satisfied with his life, and he was okay for it to end.
Yeah.
So
he was ready to die.
I think the idea that he not only put his Force abilities, but he put his life force, he put his soul into traveling and using that much power to get that far across the universe, to then be able to do that, and then that's
we're also assuming that
he could have given, you know.
Yeah. We're also assuming that, you know, it was across the galaxy. Who knows? What
it could have been like down the
right down the next orbit over, you know.
So with all this stuff said, any final thoughts you guys want to throw in here? I mean, I know we covered a bunch of stuff, so probably not. So.
Just an overall good movie.
Yeah, overall it was a fun film.
Good movie.
Not the best Star Wars movie yet. Still not the best.
But it was better than the last one, I thought.
It was a good film.
Like the bad things that were bad, like they weren't that bad. They weren't that bad.
Yeah.
But like, you know, they kind of just like meh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's a good thing. You know, it's good to see that.
There's not going to be there's not going to be a perfect film like ever. Like, let's be real.
I am more satisfied with Disney now though, compared to when it was at The Force Awakens and even Rogue One. Yeah. I'm more satisfied coming out of this film compared to the other ones. I didn't have to. I still don't think Luke had to die. I think that was kind of just in there just to do that. But besides that, and a couple of different things here and there, it was overall a solid film. So.
Do you feel like they listened to the fans too, like the Star Wars fans, when creating this movie?
I think so, but I mean.
But I mean, again, at the same time, like they probably like had this film like written and like they knew what they wanted to, where they were going, and what they wanted to accomplish.
They already knew where this was all going before the fans, but it is cool that if they're taking into account what fans are kind of asking for. The idea being, I actually wanted to include this in this video, so it's good that we said this. So I like the idea that they did more with Kylo's strength. They kind of showed him being more powerful. I feel like the last movie kind of left him looking bad.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. You know?
I didn't like him.
It was cool to see him actually doing stuff, so that was good. Like I said, Rey wasn't OP. She was still pretty OP, but she wasn't like, you know, like God status already. You know, there's kind of more reasoning to why she was as strong as she was now, which is good.
Yeah.
And then you saw faults in her too, which is good. So, yeah, but overall, solid film. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thank you, Ned.
Yeah. That's it for this podcast. If you guys have any other podcast ideas for future videos, let us know in the comments below. Like I said, if you wanted to answer any of these questions, let us know down there. I might do a follow-up video with different answers that you guys gave. That'd be pretty cool, so you might be featured in that. Who knows? It'd be pretty fun. But that's it for now, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We had a great time recording this, and let us know all your feedback down below. Future podcast ideas, like I said, and all that good stuff. Please want to like, subscribe, and turn notifications for more Star Wars content. And until next time, guys, we'll catch you later. Peace. Peace.